Welcome to the Photographer Diaries podcast. I'm your host, David Scott Bowles. On this podcast, we talk about anything and everything photography. Hey! Yeah, I got it on beat and on time there. I love it. I love this song, and I might keep it for season 2. Welcome to season 2, episode 1. And today we're talking about what it's like to be a business owner as a creative entrepreneur. And there's no guest today, just myself, and me, or I. And yeah, so I'm going to change the platform up a little bit, and I wanted to talk about that before we get into it. I think I've been a little ambitious on doing 2 episodes a week. It's been pretty tough to kind of commit to being a business owner and being a dad and a husband and just with life. So I'm going to keep it on Tuesdays. I think Tuesdays is doable for me. I film them on Mondays. Today's Monday. So I film them on Mondays and post them on Tuesdays in the morning. And I just think that's something that I can really stick to because I really enjoy doing these podcasts. They're a lot easier than going out and doing a YouTube video and having concepts and whatnot. But honestly, it's therapy for me. I like to sit here and talk. And if you're watching this on YouTube right now, thank you so much. I hope you like my new set. This is something that's going to kind of change throughout the season. I think next episode, I'll do it on our dark and moody set. If you guys been following me for a while, you know that I recently opened up a creative space / photography video podcast studio with some friends, and it's been great. Yesterday we had our soft opening, and it went really good, like really good. I was very reluctant on how many people were going to show up because I fucked up and planned it on a holiday weekend. I had no idea it was Memorial Day. Like, just don't pay attention to not that Memorial Day doesn't matter. I mean, I just don't pay attention to holidays like that. I'm very much I know when Christmas is, I know when Thanksgiving is, and my birthday, and my wife and kids' birthday. But other than that, little holidays like Memorial Day, Veterans Day, Martin Luther King, Columbus, all those other holidays, I just don't pay attention. So, but the turnout was great. We had a food truck, Russo's Up in Smoke food truck. That sounds like a plug, but it's not. Super good. I've been seriously dying to try them for a while. They're local to my area, and I miss them at all, the pop-ups that they normally do and when they set up. So I reached out to them. They were stoked. They had the day available. They came out and served up some pies for everybody. And it's crazy because there was photographers that I've never met and didn't even know about that showed up. And I think that was the most exciting thing, is because I wanted creators that I knew to come, but the creators that I know are busy creators. They're working all the time. So I knew it was going to be rough putting it on a Sunday, but I figured it's a Sunday, and you don't do much on a Sunday. I think I've shot a handful of Sunday weddings. Most of my weddings are on Fridays and Saturdays, but some of my friends had music video gigs, or they had a wedding, or they had maybe they just went out of town with their family because it was the holiday. But I was super, super, super happy with the turnout. Seriously, at the end of the day, when the dust had settled, I went into the studio and just kind of reflected on the day, and it literally brought me to tears. Honestly, talking about it right now almost gets me choked up. And I'm not an emotional guy at all. I'm very good at putting those emotions deep down and not talking about anything like that. But it was honestly amazing to see the people show up, and hopefully from them posting their pictures from the the soft opening, and we're doing an awesome photo contest. Oh shit, what time is it? Okay, cool. Just reminded myself because I have to post the results at 5 o'clock, and it's 4:18 on Monday. So, anyways, but yeah, it was great. It was a super successful soft opening, and you know, I don't know. I don't know where to go from there. But on today's episode, we're talking about what it's like being a creative entrepreneur and running a business. And let me tell you, it's difficult. It really is. For a long time, I mean, I was just working jobs. I had a very successful career as a chef for 13 years, and I held every position in a kitchen. From basically dishwasher up to executive chef. And I loved it, but I was getting so burnt out from it. And I was getting just tired of the politics in a kitchen and the competitiveness a little bit, but honestly, I like that. And that's why I do photography too, because, it is a very competitive field in our industry, which is, I feel like it's slowly changing. I feel like there's a lot more respect for other photographers and styles and stuff like that. But that's another topic we could talk about. But yeah, so it's so easy to go to a job and clock in and go home, right? If you're in a management position, it is a little different, because when you're in a management position, yeah, you can go home. You don't clock out because your salary. But you still go home and you honestly take a lot of that shit home with you, because you're a manager and you're supposed to basically almost be on call, at least in the restaurant field. Maybe it's not in retail or something. I don't know. I've only ever done working in a kitchen. I've never done a retail job or anything like that. And so, but basically it's easier when you just have a job to go home, clock out, go home, whatever, right? But when you own a business, you do everything. I am my CPA, I'm my bookkeeper, I'm my social media manager, I'm my photographer, my videographer, my payroll person, pretty much everything. And I just started another business, and it's crazy. Granted, the studio runs a little differently. I do have a business partner, and she takes care of most the kind of financial side of things. And we have another partner, kind of, sort of, he works with us, and he leases an office space from us as well. And we work together on gigs and stuff too. But the studio is different, because when I opened the studio, it was never my intention was never to be the studio is going to make me a shitload of money, or the studio is going to make a shitload of money. I knew right off the bat, our studio is not going to make money. Our goal is to basically rent out our studio to at least cover our rent. So we're not paying rent on our studio. We're having creatives come in to rent our space out and whatnot. And if we get a little bit of money extra, then it just kind of rolls back over into the studio, put some aside for taxes and stuff like that. But I never had an intention to take a check from our studio space. The goal was to have a space where we can create for our own businesses, because we run our businesses. We have a lobby side of our studio, the front end, right when you come in, there's a lobby, and I have my office there for my wedding business. And that was the goal, is let's build our brands out of the studio, but have the space to be able to use. So now that I have a studio, I could do bridal portraits, I can do boudoir, I can do fine art portraits. And it's something that I'm kind of sitting on and really thinking about where I want to take my work, because my passion is in portraits, fine art portraits, and just using off-camera flash and lighting and stuff like that. I love doing weddings as well, But I've been noticing that I like filmmaking on the wedding side of things a lot more than I like the photography side. Um, and don't get me wrong, because when I shoot a wedding, like even when I do the filmmaking at weddings, I love to stop and take a picture. Like as long as the photographer is cool with it, or if it's my team, if I'm doing photo and video, I usually will do both. But yeah, I love doing the photography side. I love getting those images that are like people like, oh my god, but like it's something that like I really have to sit and look at numbers and look at the need for it, because honestly, where I'm at right now, like in my area, my hometown. Hold on, I'm gonna take a drink real quick. Red Bull gives you wings. Wait, can you say that? I think they got sued for that. I love Red Bull. I really do, though. I should be sponsored. What was I saying? Okay, yeah. Wait, shit. I totally forgot. Wedding filmmaking. So, oh yeah. There we go. Perfect. So in my area where I live, there is like way too many photographers. And it's not a bad thing, especially now that I have a creative space where people can come and rent, and you can book us on Peerspace. That's a plug. CM Creative Space, our collective moments. Find us on Instagram. And we don't have a website yet, but I got to get that done. But yeah, so we just have a ton of photographers out here. And as far as wedding filmmakers, I know of two. No, well, maybe three, but like the third person, like really, he just rarely does it. He doesn't advertise himself as it, but he has some work out there that people find somehow and he gets booked. But he doesn't consider himself a wedding filmmaker. He does real estate, and that's his gig. But there's literally, other than myself, there's two. And our styles are all super different. One guy, he is a very old school wedding filmmaker. And when I mean old school, it's like old school, like how wedding filmmaking, or like wedding videos. It's not even really filmmaking. He makes wedding videos. And if you know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about. The other girl is super talented, and she's kind of like the go-to, but she's also in like the circle, like the circle of the go-tos in our Antelope Valley area. So she gets booked a lot. And then there's me. I don't really even market myself in my hometown, and there's reasons for it. But I usually market myself to like LA, OC, Long Beach, and like places like that. Though I do get booked locally, not often, but I do. I actually do more photography and like corporate media, I guess, in my hometown, or like small business content, than I do weddings. But yeah, that's it. So let me get back on track here because I'm starting to forget everything. Yeah, so next year I'm really almost deciding if I want to do photography for weddings anymore, and really kind of transition and not rebrand, but like restructure my company on how I do business, if it's just wedding films or whatnot, or if it's wedding photography. But maybe we'll have a whole other talk about that. I don't know. But going back to like running a business and being an entrepreneur, it's tough. Like, it's so easy to go to a job, clock in, and go home and forget about it. Like, and if you're a manager, it's a little different, obviously. But like, when you are a creative entrepreneur, and you own your own business, like, you do everything. Like I said earlier, I'm my CPA, I'm my bookkeeper, social media marketer. I do everything, and I don't have help for the most part. And not that I don't have help, but like I don't ask for help, and I think that's like part of my issue. But My wife, she actually has her own business too. So she knows she's in a different field. She's in like the food field. She makes wedding cakes and has a bakery. But it's the same thing. Actually, she has way more like stress level than I do because she's actually got employees and like has a payroll company and like, has to schedule people. I don't really have employees. I have one. I guess I could call him an employee, but I have one friend that really shoots most of my weddings with me. He's my lead shooter, and he's like a 1099 contractor though, so it's really easy. And like if anybody I hire is a 1099 contractor, but yeah, I mean, it's difficult because there's times where like I'm just like, what am I doing? Why? Like I should just go back and get a job cooking again, and it'll be easier. But this is what I signed up for, like and it's like if you're an entrepreneur, you're creative, you know what I'm talking about. Like we're living our dreams. And it's tough. Like, I'm not going to lie. Like, there's months where, like, I'm looking at the money and I'm like, fuck, I don't have a gig coming up. Like, but the cool thing about it is, like, if you meet the right people, you can take jobs all the time. Like, I'm in like a bunch of Facebook groups, like second shooters and stuff like that. And even though I own my own business, I own my own company, I've been doing this for a while now. I will never be too good to second shoot for somebody. I think if you have that mindset, because I know there's fucking people out there like that are too good to second shoot for people, and have that mentality. And I think that's a mentality that like you just got to drop. I will never be too. I don't care if one day I become a famous photographer, famous videographer, have X amount of fucking Instagram followers or whatever it is. I will never be too good to shoot for somebody. Why? Because I love it. I don't care what I'm doing. As long as I have a camera in my hands, shit, I can just have a light stand and be a lighting assistant. In my hands. It's never like, I think when you have that mentality, like it's just, I don't know, it's just not good. Like honestly, if you're really passionate about your craft, you're really passionate about photography or filmmaking, you shouldn't feel that way. If you're too busy to do it, like that is very different. If I was a famous photographer and I was booked every weekend or just like crazy busy with like whatever, I don't know what famous photographers are busy with nowadays, but yeah, I mean that's a completely different story. But there are people out there that think they're too good to second shoot. I think I've asked somebody I follow, I think I asked one time, like, hey, can you second shoot for me? Like, I don't second shoot anymore. Like, the fuck does that mean? Like, okay. But yeah, running a business as a creative entrepreneur is definitely, you're learning every day. Like, every day is something new that you got to figure out. And it's tough because we pay high taxes. We, have to kind of like go out and find our work, unless work is already coming to you naturally. For me, my wedding business is going to turn a year old this July, so I'm pretty excited for that. I've been doing wedding photography and wedding films for the last 3 years. I did it under my name for a while, trying to figure out what I wanted to do, and then I decided, hey, you know what? I'm going to start a company. I want it to be a collective, which is, in my eyes, what a collective means. Like for my business, the collective is like I do a collective of things. I do, one photography, video, blah, 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 blah. So when I started King Collective, that was the goal. And I think like the 5-year, quote unquote, 5-year plan, the 5-year plan was like to like build this company to be a company that I can like outsource work, and I can like hire shooters, across the nation or whatever, and like build this. I don't want to throw any like names out there, but I don't know. There's a word for it. I can't really think of it. Like, but basically like just this like batch company, I guess, where I like, hey, like, excuse me, wow, I almost died right now. Um, where I can like just hire out and outsource a lot of things and like maybe market, run my company in my area. But then after working for companies like that, because I do a lot of freelancing, I just don't think that's the right way, or at least for my business. I don't think I would rather be a boutique company, small company, independent, than this like company where I just like hire Joe Schmo to go shoot a wedding that's probably never really shot a wedding before and just wants to like, get his feet wet and doesn't like it, doesn't care for it, shows up, does a terrible job, and then I have to like try to fix it. Like, I would rather me handle it and like maybe hire some associates to like take on some work within my local area. But I don't know. It's still something that I'm like planning out. But yeah, when you are ready to start and become a professional entrepreneur, or like, open up a business, if there was one piece of advice that I can really give anybody is don't half-ass it. Like, do it all. Like, and that was like my problem, is that when I first started shooting weddings under my name, I was still cooking. So I was like working on the weekends and then working on the weekdays in restaurants, and like had no days off for the most part. And I noticed my work quality for weddings just wasn't there. And even like my portraits and pictures, and I just wasn't excited to do it because I was already burnt out from the week, from cooking and whatnot, that like when I get to the wedding, I'm like already fucking tired. So, yeah, don't half-ass it. If you're going to do it, as long as it financially makes sense, and for me in my situation, it did. My wife was doing good with her business, and it allowed me to be able to leave the restaurant industry and go full-time. And I did, and it was the best decision I have ever done. Since then, I've now opened up my photography studio with my partners, and hopefully that business grows. And I'm thinking about doing a whole nother separate business next year. So yeah, I mean, if there's one piece of advice, like I said, don't half-ass it. Like, go in all the way. But I think that's it. I don't know how to end this one. But guys, thank you so much for watching and listening on all the platforms. If you're listening to Spotify, on Apple, or wherever else this is, YouTube, I really do appreciate it. I want to do this more. Remember, every Tuesday I'll have a new episode. It's not going to be on Thursdays anymore. Just Tuesdays. And yeah, thanks for watching Season 2, Episode 1. Peace.